Men's 3,000 meter steeplechase, and the record in Division 2, 8:45.43. That was set by the defending champion, Mike Vanatta, and he is back to defend his crown. Let's go to the lane setups for the 3,000 meter steeplechase. Goldcamp of Indiana, Pennsylvania in lane 1. Then we go to Vanatta, the defending champion from Southeast Missouri. Home of Edinburgh. Then Cabales of Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. Hodge from Seattle Pacific. Clodfelter of Indiana State, then Goss of George Washington Post, then Thielen, Cal State Hayward, Jones of Abilene Christian, Young of Cal State Sacramento, Ryan from Northwest Missouri, Rios from Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, Beardsley of Edinburgh, and Gruber of Humboldt. And Ralph Boston, we have a defending champion right there. He's obviously got to be the favorite. Who will be his competition?
Well, it's going to be tough for him because Carmelo Rios of Cal Poly San Luis Obispo has a much faster time than Mike Vanatta had all time coming into this competition. But you know, he's in front of his hometown people. He knows the track upside down and backwards. He should know every grain of rubber on the surface. He should know the hurdles, the water jump, and he's going to negotiate 7.5 laps, or 7 and about 5/8 laps, 7 water jumps, and I believe it's 28 hurdles that they're going to have to clear en route to 3,000 meters. And it's going to be it may be the toughest race, Joe, in track and field competition.
I remember last year, a year ago, when we were out in Sacramento, and Vanatta not only won the Division II championship, but set the record, ran a brilliant race. But as brilliant as he was, even he was tiring in the last couple of laps around the track. And as you watch this race, you'll see some of the competitors start to hit the bar on the water jump and a little bit lower and a little bit lower. Right. And it is, as Ralph points out, just an extremely difficult race, not only a long distance, but with the obstacles thrown in.
Yeah, and then the water jump is, you can't say too much about that because you have to clear a barrier and land into the water on a severe incline, putting stress on your ankles and on your Achilles tendons. And you see here they have a very small swerve or arc on the track. Waterfall start again, but it's a tough race. It may be the toughest race in track and field, and it's going to take them a little while to kind of settle into things.
Well, Vanatta, the defending champion, in 3rd place right now.
They'll go past the water jump this time around. They'll go through almost 3/4 of a lap. And then as they pass the finish line, they'll come to their very, very first hurdle, and then they'll negotiate 4 hurdles per lap and 1 water jump from that point on.
Coming down right in front of us now, and our leader, as they come in front of us for the first time, is Beardsley of Edinburgh, right?
He has one of the fastest times in the competition, maybe the 2nd fastest coming in. So you're going to have to, if Mike Vanatta is going to please the people here on the banks of the Mississippi, he's going to have to run some. He's going to have to run really hard.
Well, Vanatta right on off the right shoulder right now of Beardsley, and Beardsley just hanging on to a very slim lead, about a half a stride lead over Vanatta. And I'm trying to recall how Vanatta ran this race a year ago, Ralph, and I think he took the lead early and just held on to it.
I know that one of the key points is, as I mentioned before, the water jump. And if you watch, you'll see if certain athletes have really good techniques over the water jump, they'll gain some distance. And we'll watch here coming into the first water jump, and see Beardsley has a great water jump. He put 3 yards on everybody except Vanatta on that water jump. You see he accelerated just as he got to the water jump and went right through. But the first 3 runners, the first 4 runners now are looking very smooth, very comfortable, and no pressure at all. The field, though, hasn't strung out as you think they would over
Not
7.
Really. They're really
now we're in the 6 laps. They're going to be close, too, for a while, certainly.
Vanatta and Beardsley, stride for stride, 1-2 right now. Beardsley with a slight lead over the defending champion, Mike Vanatta of Southeast Missouri State, running before his hometown crowd here in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. And Beardsley hanging on to that lead right now.
And if you look very closely, you'll see that Greg Beardsley is a much better hurdler over the hurdle portion of the race than Mike Vanatta. His technique is a little bit better, so he doesn't use as much effort.
Now, that's got to stand him in good stead, Ralph, not only over the hurdles, but as you pointed out, he has an excellent approach to the water jump.
Here's Michael Williams from St. Augustine's. He's at 7-1, and he just missed it. That's his third attempt. He's one of the 3 people who has cleared 7 feet, so Michael knows that he has some big points for Coach Tom Williams, going back to St. Augustine.
Greg Beardsley of Edinburgh continuing to hold on to the lead over Mike Vanatta, the defending champion in the 3,000-meter steeplechase.
Running third there from Abilene Christian is Doug Jones, and they don't seem to, they can't seem to break away. Nobody wants to take the lead and really just break away, so they're going to seem to be content rather to stay just bunched up.
I believe I made a mistake when we gave the lane assignments. I mentioned Corey Goss of George Washington Post, the CW Post, of course.
Right. But
shows you why I'm wearing glasses up here, Ralph.
The split at 1,000 meters is 2:56.21, so they're not shattering any records by any means, but it's a tactical race. There are points at stake here. There's a team championship at stake, and the gentleman in the burgundy and white right there with the AC on his chest is very much in the hunt because he needs some points for Abilene Christian College.
Well, right now, Beardsley of Edinburgh continuing to hold down the #1 spot. You can see as they come to the water jump, Ralph, as we mentioned it, well, before we get to that, here's Tobias of Mount St. Mary's, his third attempt at 7-1 in the high jump.
And nobody has cleared this, so if Tobias clears this out, he'll be the outright winner right now. Well, he certainly will take the lead.
If he should miss, Thomas and he will have a jump off for the championship in the high jump. Again, that intense concentration. Here we go. 7 feet 1. Nope, didn't make it. So they'll have to go to the jump off, and he is really upset.
He knows that he had the jump. He really should have had that one.
Yeah.
Back into the steeplechase now where Mike Vanatta has taken the lead. I wondered why there was so much cheering going on as we were looking at the high jump.
So Vanatta has taken the lead. He is the defending champion. And Ralph, as I started to say, and they're coming out to the water jump again, we'll see some of the jumpers, some of the runners go further and further and further into the water as the race progresses.
Right.
They just lose the strength going over there.
Interestingly enough about Vanatta, though, if you look, he'll clear the water jump very well. He does very well over the water jump, but he has a long stride, kind of loping even. So you can't really judge when that guy's getting tired because he has such a long loping stride. But the lead has only changed hand once. Mike Vanatta, with 2 laps to go now as they cross the finish line. Beardsley appears to be really struggling in second place, and Rios appears to be moving up now. Well, he's a guy that I thought would be the tough one anyway because he had the fastest time in the country in Division II, 3:40.84. So he's closing the gap, and with that kind of that body so long and lean, I would say that if it comes down to a kick, he can go. But there goes Greg Beardsley, trying to break the race open, and
just as
Mike
I said,
Vanatta,
he was struggling. He comes back. He really looked as he passed in front of us that he really was struggling with it. Did not do well going over the hurdle near the front of the grandstands here, but now has regained the lead again. And Rios still trying to close the gap, but he's had some problems on the hurdles.
Well, as I said, it may be the toughest race in track and field. There's a split for 2,000 meters, 5:48.41. But the 2 leaders are really clearing that water jump very, very well. So they're still in good contention. Now we'll have to see who wants it most, and that's what really coaches would say. We have to see who wants the race most. And look at Rios.
Yep. He's checking over his shoulder
to see where everybody else is. He's in great shape.
He looks like he's got plenty left.
He's
right
running
now, he
really
appears
easy.
to be running the most comfortable of any of the 3 front runners.
2 laps to go now. Just 2 more laps of this 400-meter oval, and then we'll have decided the winner of the 3,000-meter steeplechase.
Well, Rios has just passed Vanatta, so Mike Vanatta, in an effort to defend his championship, is in for a battle now because Beardsley has the lead. Rios has moved into second place, and Vanatta is now third. And Rios is about to take over first place as Beardsley tries to fight him off.
I wouldn't count out Vanatta, though. Again, This is home. There are a lot of people who know him and see he's moved right back in the first place, and now he's trying to open it up. I think his race tactic is well because he doesn't seem to be a person who has a tremendous kick. So if he can take the starch out of their run now with a lap to go and watch his water jump. See, he almost cleared the entire water.
Yep.
So he had a good water jump and he carried well. So if he can take the starch out of him now down the straightaway and then with 1 lap to go, he may be able to defend his championship.
Well,
but he's going to have to do it.
Rios, who had taken over the lead momentarily, has now moved back into second place, and Beardsley appears to be falling off the pace being set a little bit.
And there's the gun for the gun lap. So this is it. This is for all the marbles.
Well,
this is for bragging rights for another year.
Vanatta holding on to the lead, and Rios stride for stride with him, about 2 strides back of him.
Rios does look like a sprinter, and he really does.
He's built like one.
And so I believe that Rios can come on, or he certainly appears to, and you got to watch out for Greg Beardsley.
Yeah, he's coming back again. Beardsley has just passed Rios again.
And Beardsley is really closing the gap on Vanatta, so it's going to be a great race. After the last hurdle, it's just going to be fasten your seat belts, gentlemen. We're off to the races.
Beardsley trying to put a move on Vanatta right here and takes him.
Beardsley had trouble. And he fell at the water jump.
Beardsley.
And that opened the door for Mike Vanatta, but
now we'll see if Rios
can
catch him. I don't think so.
I don't think they can catch him now, but Greg Beardsley had a great move. He made a great move. He just miscalculated the water jump and fell as he came off, but
Vanatta's going to win it. So
Mike
Vanatta successfully defends his 3,000 meter steeplechase championship and did it in grand style. And really, Ralph, we talked about Greg Beardsley, counted him out of the race a couple, 2-3 times, and as he approached that water jump, you could see him change his stride, and he fell.
Watch him. Now here he goes, swinging out wide to go around Mike Vanatta, and he has more momentum going here.
You think he had too much?
He chopped his step, and if he had not chopped his step and his toe caught just as he went to clear the hurdle there, but if his toe hadn't caught, if he had placed it firmly on the barrier and cleared the water, it would have been a different story, or it certainly could have been a different story. But so Mike Vanatta, take nothing away from him, he won the race.
Beardsley, if he had waited until after the water jump to make his move,
it might have been
may have made it paid off, because he looked like he had a great deal left. He was really coming on hard.
Well, he did have a great deal left even after he got up out of the water. He was able to close very fast on